Okay, the last part of percentages then is your working backwards problems. So this is the other main percentage question that you will get in the National 5 paper. So you can get like compound interest, appreciation, depreciation type questions, and these backwards percentage questions are the two main ones that come up in the National 5 papers. Okay, so the first one. Lisa gets a 3% pay rise. Her new pay is £520. What was her original pay? Now, you cannot do 3% of 520 and take it away. You can't do that because you're finding a percentage of the wrong amount. So I said right back the first percentage video, you won't get a percentage question at National 5 level where it simply is find a percentage of an amount and add it on or take it away. You might get it as part, you might get it as part of a question, but you will never get it as the full question. So if you've got a question you think it is that way, it's probably one of these backwards ones. Okay. The idea of this then, Lisa got a 3% pay rise. So she had her original pay. Her original pay was at 100%. She got an extra 3%. So her pay is now at 103%. And that 103% is equal to that £520 because that's her pay after she got that 3% added on. Okay, we know she got 403%. If we want to know her original pay, we want to find out what 1% is. If we're at 103%, sorry, not 1%, 100%, but we can start by finding 1% to make it easier. If I know 103% and I want to find 1%, I can divide by 103, and that will give me 1%. Careful when you're doing this. You're going to end up timesing this by 100, so make sure you give yourself plenty of decimal places. We don't want just 2 decimal places, because then we include some, we want 4. Move that over there, but I still can't write it down, it disappears as soon as I write. 5.0485. 5.0485. So 100% then, to get from 1% to 100% times by 100. So I'm going to do the same here. £504.85. Let's try the next one. Computer, including VAT at 20%, costs £390. How much was it before VAT? So it includes VAT at 20%. So that VAT was added on. So we had 100%, added on an extra 20%. Oh, I can't seem to write today. So that would be 120%. 120% is this £390. And I want to find 100%. It doesn't matter what you go down to and what you work your way back up to. I could divide by 12 and get down to 10%, and then times that up from 10% to get 100%. Makes no difference, whatever way you see is absolutely fine. What will always work though is going down to 1%. So I'm going to divide by 120. So 390 divided by 120 is £3.25. That's 1%. I don't want 1%. I want 100%. Times that by 100. And I get £325. Question 3. Robert sold his car for £3,515. He lost 7.5%. How much did he pay for the car originally? Okay, we want this to be more than we started with. If we want it to be more than we started with, we need to divide by a number smaller than 1. So that's an idea what we're doing. Instead of adding on to 100%, we're going to take away from 100%. So 100 take away 7.5 is 92.5%. That's a decimal. No, I don't need it as a decimal. So 92.5% is the £3,515. £515 that he sold his car for. And again, I want to work back up to 100%. Same idea. I can work down to get 1%. To get 1%, I need to divide by 92.5. 3515 divided by 92.5 is 38. To get 100%, I want to multiply by 100, so I get 3,800. Okay, that's how you would do it with a calculator. Let's have a look at a couple of examples without a calculator. Okay, a jar of coffee is on special offer, get 12.5% free. Special offer, the jar is 675 grams. How much would a jar of coffee not on special offer be? Okay, so we've got 100%. We added on 12.5% and we got 112.5%. Now, you can do this the same way as we did it with a calculator, but the numbers really get quite tricky. So this way is probably better if you go from percentages into fractions. When we're talking about 100%, we're talking about one whole. 12.5% is an eighth. So if we've got 1 add an eighth, we've got 9 eighths. You can also, if you can, change it from the 112% into the fraction. So 9 eighths is my 675 grams. I've got 9 eighths. I want 8 eighths, because 8 eighths is one whole or 100%. Okay, so that's what I'm aiming for. If I've got 9 eighths, I'm going to start by finding 1 eighth. And I'm going to find 1 eighth by dividing by 9. So I'm going to do 675 divided by 9. Again, it's non-calculator, not no working. Do as much working as you like. 9 into 6 doesn't go. 9 into 67 goes 7 with 4 left over. 9 into 45 goes 5. So 1 eighth would be 75. So I want 8 eighths. I've got 1 eighth and I want 8 eighths. I need to times by 8. So my non-special offer jar would have 600 grams. Last example then. Bike I bought last year dropped in value by 10%. It's now worth £144. How much did I pay for it originally? It dropped in value. It dropped in value. I'm taking away from 100. So it's 90%. 90% as a fraction. It's 9 tenths. So 9 tenths are equal to 144. I want to find 1 tenth. Find 1 tenth and divide by 9. 9 into 14 goes once with 5 left over. 9 into 54 goes 6. So 1 tenth would be £16. Don't want 1 tenth though, I want 10 tenths. So times by 10. The bike originally cost me £160. Now these questions are a wee bit trickier, but what you can always do is you can always do a check at the end. And you would do a check at the end by working out the simple percentage. So this dropped in value by 10%. 10% of 160 is 16. 160 minus 16 takes me back to 144. So there is always a check there for you. Okay, I'll leave you to practice some of these.